Good afternoon. Welcome to Options Tender. It is Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. July 15th, 2024. We're going to go through SPY on multiple time frames. We're going to compare IWM on the monthly, and then we'll go around the horn on the 65-minute for the QQQ. I think the daily chart on DIA would be sufficient to check out. We're at all sorts of resistances. And I want to explain you how we're forming a top, and it's possible that the SPY is perhaps forming an ending diagonal. Maybe can eke out a new high, but really, it could be short. This could be the top right now. So I'll show you those on the lower time frame. So let's get into it. We have we're doing this intraday. So if you're interested in getting these intraday updates, consider becoming a YouTube supporter. Otherwise, you can see these videos public at 4 p.m. It's $1. Okay, we have SPY on the monthly time frame. We're looking at the 2000 top, 2022, and a top here. So, you could do something like this. I know that there could be a past, and then you can line it up with this top, and maybe that makes it a little bit more steep or so. It doesn't matter. I don't do that so often. It's a zone. So we're peaking at that point right now. We're at the trend line. Let me touch there. Make sure we had the top touching there. So we're above the trend line right now. And I do suspect by the end of the month that this will be a reversal candle that doesn't hold on the trend. Now, if we start closing daily, weekly, and monthly above this trend line, we could see higher prices. Okay. I don't suspect that's going to happen. We're at all sorts of resistances on the lower time frames right now. So just quickly looking at negative divergences everywhere. I don't need to do that in multiple time frames. Now let's go to IWM. Give a little comparison here, and we had a nice sharp move, but I do suspect that IWM is going to get some sort of pause or pullback here, and this is because of two lines. So we have a channel here, and this is the mid channel that I'm highlighting. It's very dim. That kind of moves above where the price is rejected over and over on IWM. And then we just drew sort of a megaphone type expanding triangle. And we're at that high point right now. So I know you can draw this in different wicks and whatnot, but we're and just about there, if not a few points up to give. We are in a bullish stance with the 8 EMA continually pushing off on that momentum indicator. But we just have to be cautious because we're at resistance now. So now's not a good time to go long if you haven't already. We are up 2% today. We're getting a reaction already. And I'll show you another reason when we get down to the 65 why this might be a good spot for price to rest. There's another target above. Doesn't have to go to that target. This could be it right here, but I wanted to show that to you on the higher time frame. So let's go back to SPY on the weekly time frame. And again, I go through these pretty slowly, so speed up the video if you want to hear this and be able to watch multiple videos. I learned that fairly recently, so I can get more information in less time. So we have our channel. Clearly, we're above the 2000 and 2021 resistance here. You saw that there was some play, some resistance, and then price got above it. Now we're testing the top of this channel and just, clearing it so far during the week. Had some sort of reversal doji, eked out a new high last week, and then eked out today a new high, and we're rejecting off of there. So clearly there's supply here. There's resistance. And I do think we start our reversal as soon as today. We're already rejecting a little bit off of there. We're extended. We are in a bullish posture, but again, we're at resistance, so it's a time for caution, at minimum for a pullback. So I would love to see in the near term at least a pullback to the 8 EMA around 550, and that gives us 12 points. That's a tremendous short play in itself that we could have for 2 weeks or so. Maybe that will be our initial impulse move to the downside, and I'll show you kind of a pathway as we go through these time frames. And here's another reason why we're bearish at this point. Having trouble getting over this 162% retracement from, if you're new, I got that from this 2021 into 22 pullback. So that entire pullback, the retracements, we led some retracements on the way up, and then after you get past the 100%, now you have your retracements or extensions that you get from that move, that initial move down. And we hit the first target at 127, couldn't hold above it, and then retried again after testing a 20-week moving average. Tested again and held, and that's when price went to the next target here at the 162. Now we're at this resistance, and we're also getting close to some time factors too. So it could very well be that price kind of dances around this price range until some of these time relationships come together. It's around 721, 723 would be in multiple time frames. So something is going to happen, whether that is price rejects up here, is forming an ending diagonal. Maybe it that's next week that would be. So maybe next week we're looking at another reversal candle up there. So that's definitely possible that we waste time, form a top, or maybe we get some sort of retracement and then a double top at that point. If price wants to reject here sooner, which it seems to be. It's just been fading all day now today. So let's go down to lower time frames, see if we can learn a little bit more. And now in the daily time frame, daily trend is our friend. We drew this channel from this geometrical point here, the bottom here, and then from a top, not the major top, from a top, and then we're getting some rejection. So we have some reference there at least. So we keep rejecting off of it. We're rejecting again. And so we're looking for continuation on this move. We didn't get continuation from that daily rejection, but it's stair-stepping up and rejecting. So it's showing some real weakness here. Again, in a bullish position with the 8 EMA being the momentum indicator, and the 20 simple being the trend. So the trend is up, but we're against resistance. So that's real caution here. We are short the market right now. We're short Tesla. We're short NVIDIA. I just did a video for the members on NVIDIA today. Now, going into show this one here. We've been kind of monitoring this for a long time, an expanding wedge here, got above it right into our 162% retracement there. And then the time factors are in this ending diagonal here. So getting in closer, again, we had all of our targets. We had the 138, we had the 127, that was the major one. And then after that, we had 1, 2, 3 targets that were hit that played a huge role. We got rejection off of it and got above it, rejection above, and now rejecting at our final target here. So I know that price can dance around while beat up stocks can catch up very quickly, like Square. We called that one out. We're a little early, but we called that one out. We're looking at Lulu now. There are tons of plays that we're looking for catch-up plays, and now that those are starting to play out, we can really start to align all of our shorts, and they can all start moving down together. Now we're going into some time factors. Tomorrow we have a daily time factor at 16 here. So perhaps we get a rejection off of here going into 716. And then we start to see maybe a low into that 721, 724 area. Maybe we get a low for a lower high. And then our final, I think, destinations will start to come into effect. This might be an ABC. We're looking to see basically if this is a 5-wave impulse move down or if this is an ABC correction into the beginning of August here. So we have some time frames. We also have FOMC at 7:31. So that's going to be an important catalyst where if we're near a low, that could spike lower for the FOMC and then start moving up for a dead cat bounce, and then we can move lower in prices. I don't know if this high will be taken out again. Maybe in the near term, if this is an ending diagonal, maybe we got one more high and reject off of it again. But after we reject off of this area, I don't know if this is maybe going to be retested or not. So that will be a real that will be the challenge here. And if you look back to some of the former highs, you have this one where the high was made in the Qs, but SPY made a new high here. So we could have a nice large rejection just like that. And then price action can retest the highs, whether it makes a new high or not. It's just retesting. Or this just could be a high and end up like this kind of move here, or this kind of move where you just start really accelerating down. So this is a major top here. So I think that's more likely of a situation where it dances around and does different things, where it's going to be really volatile for the next few months. So some of these time factors will be very important, where price might ping pong back and forth. So if we get our rejection off here, maybe we look for a low, and I'm not pointing the price out exactly. We just have to watch, we have a volume node here. So maybe we just get down to here into 721 or 724, or it could be here. And then we get our bounce into some other time relationships. Maybe we bounce into FOMC, and you have the 730 play here, and you get a dead cat bounce, and it really starts to drop after a catalyst of FOMC. So there's many, many options of things that could happen, but I do think we get our reversal from this target up here. And so this will be a nice short play into one of those time relationships where we have a nice cluster here in 724 to 726. So we'll keep an eye on that. And so let me jump over to DIA. I think it's just appropriate to look at that on the daily time frame and just show you that this one is at a very big resistance area here. So yes, price can get above and accelerate, but at this point we're at a trend line here. And when these type of plays start to play out, it's more of a range play. So it's above this trend line, but this certainly could be a rejection off of it as well. We're right into a confluence of resistances. And so this could play back down to either support here at the 390 and or a little bit lower for this uptrend here. And now that price made a new high, we can actually move this trend line to right there. That's the highest point. So this will be another valid trend line to get below. And if it breaks down from this trend line, then we could again be a little bit more bearish. Maybe this is forming some sort of top here. This does look like a very valid high as well. Okay, now we're going to go around the horn. So back to SPY 65. On the 65 minute, we're looking at the traditional technical analysis, and we're really just looking at this last move here now, except for this trend line. That's the major trend line. We break down from that, and then we get real bearish. But right now we're at resistance, so we're in the near term bearish. But when we really start getting bearish is when we break this trend line from a major wedge there. So we're in time reference here. We're making tops. And then we have our other time reference here. So where are we going to be during that? And then we have FOMC. Where are we going to be during that? Okay, so price will tell us, if price comes down into here, into this as a low, into a time reference, we're not going to be short here anymore. Okay, that could be an easy bounce. Maybe we get our bounce into FOMC and, whatever they say, and then we have a catalyst that breaks the wedge here. Then we can be very bearish again into support, which after it breaks this, I think that price will start to accelerate more so we can look lower, and we'll base most of our trades off the higher time frames like the daily rather than the 65, and look for an acceleration into faster moves to the support, for example, 525. But we're getting ahead. So what I'm looking at on this other board right now, here is our kind of final moves here. And we have some time references that we're into. We had a high on this time reference last Friday, and now we have a high today, being Monday. And now we'll see what price does. But after, just like I did on the high time frames, you take this retracement, and now we have our extensions. We met the first major extension here, and technically the second one as well. But the next major target would be 162 at 566.35. So you can see right here. So if price wanted to move up one more time, that could mean that this is forming an ending diagonal where you have 3-wave move up, retrace, 3-wave move up, retrace, and one last move. So 5-wave move with overlapping highs and lows there. So if you want to know what ending diagonals, feel free to look it up. And I think this is the top here, or maybe even just a little bit higher. If price does want to go a bit higher, then this is a great shorting position here as well. So we're short already, but if we get stopped out, we'll add on to our shorts, and we'll see what happens from here. Let's go to Qs. Taking a look at the Qs, we have this trend line here with the points of reference there, 3 points. And now getting into that, we had a fake break above it and retested it Friday and today. So you see how Qs are making a lower high and having trouble getting back above it. So this is a great point of reference. If price gets above this trend line again, now you can't really be bearish until you get to some resistances. But this played a really important role today for us to short again. And we took a quick, not OTD, but tomorrow, we took 1 day expiration on the reversal here and did really, really well. So we rolled that out and actually added on to NVIDIA with that. But this retracement is messy here. If I take out all those lines, we got past the 786. So we went straight to we got the initial move, and we had the 786 retracement there, and that's where we put on our put play, and that also coincided with that that trend line from the top of the wedge rejection. So I do suspect that this goes lower, but again, if this is an ending diagonal on SPY, then you'll probably see the Qs either just make another lower high or eke out one more high here, but this is the basic area. I do think it'll get a lower high here from this top. I think this top is good. Going to IWM. IWM, now we have two boards to show you. So this one here, we're getting into the options expected move. So we're rejecting off of that, and I do think we'll close within the options expected move, seeing how we saw in the higher time frames we're into resistance. But we're also on this board, if you look at the fib retracements, it's the same thing over and over what we do. So we took this top here, we retraced from top to bottom, and we hit retracements on the way up, and now we're hitting the extended retracements here at 127.2. So this is a great spot to take a breather for IWM to reverse off of and maybe even consolidate. And then there's another high up here at 224 if it needs to go any higher. Don't look at these. These aren't numbered correctly. This could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but that's not how I would really count this. So I do think this was a triangle, and then we have an impulse wave here that would finish, and it should look similar from here where we have structure being made. We either have a 1 2 1 2, or it's a 1 2 1 2 1 2 price action that's going to play out very similar. This is clearly the meat of the trade. And then a wave 4 5 4 5 4 5 could be possible up here to kind of mimic what happened down below for market structure. Okay, so this may not be the top, but this could be a nice area for IWM to cool off for a minute. And while it's cooling off, that will allow tech and SPY and DIA to pull back, and while this rests, get some retracement, and could continue higher into later dates. Let's go to the VIX, and then we'll be done. So the VIX here is really holding up so far. Like to say that it's making a breakout here, but look what happened last time. Let's see. It looks like it wants to break out. It has a an island reversal, so that means that we gap down and then gap back over that gap. So this is an island reversal, and I like to color these in just a little bit different. So that's an island reversal, and that is very bullish. So as long as it holds this gap, we should see higher prices there, and that means the market will begin to move lower. So it's at resistance right now at the 13. If it starts to break above this high here at 13.3, then I think it's off to the races and starts moving up much higher, probably to test the 15 area, where I believe let's see. Yeah, 15. So we're above the 50. We get to the 200 will be a major. So at the 14, and then the 15 will be a really good test. If price is going to go back up in SPY, then you'll probably see a nice wick off of this 15, and we'll see what happens from there. If it back tests, then maybe we're getting a lower high in the market, and starting to make a higher low here in the VIX, and then we should see much higher prices after that. So, all right, that's what I got for you. Nice reversal candle. We're getting some follow through off the 8 EMA, crossing over. Looks like it wants to cross over the 50 right now. That's what we got, you guys. We're bearish the market. Be careful. Have a wonderful trading day. Don't forget the likes.